Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and it's time for another breakfast chat. And don't worry, I'm going to give you guys a second one of these a day. People are going to say it's way too much diet-related stuff. Why don't we get more training? Because again, this is primarily a training channel, but it's just been one of those weeks as far as interesting topics. But don't worry, guys, we'll talk about squats in the next one. So let's talk about what the CDC just released in the last couple of days, and it's kind of alarming. It's the fact that at this point, the CDC is saying, based upon their medical records, the average American male is 5'9", which we already knew that, and 199.8 pounds. All right. That's basically means the average American male is now overweight, carrying way too much body fat. It would be different if they were lifters, right? If you've been training hard and you put on 25 pounds of muscle, being 199 isn't that big of a deal at average height, right? Fairly common for someone who has made the majority of their natural gains, right? The gains that they can make drug-free. Sorry, I hate that natural term. It's a marketing term. I need to make a video on that. But if they've made most of the gains that they're going to be able to make through their lifetime, they could be in the 190s. They could be 200 pounds and be fairly lean. Not ripped, but they're going to be reasonably lean and healthy. So we've got this problem, and this is actually something that's gotten worse in the last year. Okay, this is a substantial change in the last year on average, and this goes to show us of how bad all the stuff in the country has harmed our overall health. People say, what do you mean? Well, everything's been locked down. Gyms have been locked down. The ability to get out and move in many places in the country has been restricted. It's been restricted. Now, we could argue whether that's warranted or not. That's a totally different topic. We're not going to get into that. But from a physical and mental health perspective, this has been devastating in otherwise young, potentially healthy, fit people. In the general population, it's been devastating, right? Because people have stopped exercising. They've stopped working out. And we already had an obesity epidemic. And it is an epidemic. And the researchers will tell you, all the researchers, all medical doctors who look at stuff, that carrying too much body fat is illness. It is actually a physical illness by itself. It will physically harm you. Now, if you tend to eat well and you're very physically active, you can offset most of the negatives of it. Not all of them. Pretty good chunk of them. But if you don't work out, you don't eat a really good diet, it can absolutely kill you. And look at what the top killers are in this country right now. Look at what they are. Cardiovascular disease, number one. Cancer, diabetes. Okay. What are the biggest lifestyle causes of every single one of these things? Your BMI. And again, people say, well, Jason, BMI doesn't matter as much to lifters. It doesn't matter as much. You can't say it doesn't matter at all, okay, because that's not entirely true. It matters a lot less for people who are very strong, who lift. And I don't mean someone who just lifts a little bit. If you go to the gym and you play with one plate per side on the squat and the bench press, and that's your workout, you're not in that category. Okay? You're not in that category. You've only put on 5, 6, 7 pounds of muscle, probably through your entire training life. So we know that outside of lifting populations, that BMI is enormously correlated. And we have causation too, because again, body fat, with cardiovascular disease. Okay? Cardiovascular disease kills like 1.8 million Americans every single year. 1.8 million. If I remember correctly, I might be off on that. Okay, then we have cancer. Well, what do we know? People always say, but cancer has nothing to do with obesity. Yes, it does. It's because you see people who have gone through all this cancer treatment and they've lost 100 pounds. If you are obese, you are 5 times as likely in general to get different forms of cancer. Just if we just say general cancer, because these things vary, all these statistics vary a lot from cancer to cancer, and some of them lifestyle plays a lot less role than others. They are different. I mean, things like childhood leukemia, for example, lifestyle is not really a factor there. Okay, it's just bad luck. But for the most part, yes, being obese will increase your risks of cancer 4 to 5-fold. And we know why. We have causation as to why that is. Like this has been studied. We have a very good hypothesis as to why it does it. Diabetes. Type 2 diabetes is 100% lifestyle induced. Okay, it has nothing to do with bad luck. It is 100% caused by lifestyle. Now, genetic components of it matter in the sense of how quickly you're going to develop it. People who are more prone to it are going to get it a lot easier, right? But it is ultimately lifestyle caused, because no one gets type 2 diabetes who has a good lifestyle, has a healthy, fit lifestyle. You do not get it. It does not occur at all, even in people who are genetically predisposed to it. Genetics are a cofactor. So these are our top 3 killers. Every single one of them are enormously linked to obesity and body fat. And again, we're not saying this to shame anybody. No one is out here saying that, hey, we need to make fun of people for being obese or fat or anything like that, because at this point, it's half the population. Hey, this is not even a minority group at this point. So, but no one is saying they should be shamed, but it should be cause for alarm. It should be cause for alarm, and we as a society have to do something about this. We have to get people in the gym. We have to get people working out. We have to get people away from just consuming massive amounts of garbage. And the biggest problem we have is that all these events within the last year have taken this tendency that we have as a society and have dramatically exacerbated it. It's exacerbated it. We have a serious problem now, and the health consequences of this are going to be enormous. The toll on the healthcare system is going to be enormous. The toll on your taxes is going to be enormous. And that's the problem we run into. It's one thing if people say, well, everyone should be free to do as they please, and you happen to work out and everything and take care of yourself, but no one else should really have to do that. Well, that's well and good, except that a lot of your tax dollars and money you spend on healthcare, you're going to have to subsidize it. You're going to have to pay for it. That would only be true in a world where no money at all of yours ever goes to help anyone else who's sick. Well, it doesn't work that way. Like, there's always going to be government subsidization. You're going to see cost of healthcare transferred over to other people, even in the business sense, also as a result of that. It is going to cost all of us money. It's going to cost all of us money. So it's not even a case of hey, this is just free will and people should just do whatever they want. No, we need to be encouraging people to do something about this, because the ramifications of it are that it is now at this point where it's going to be so severe, the cost of it, that it's going to affect everyone, including the third of the population that chooses to stay really healthy and that it is healthy, right? We're all going to have to pay for this. It's no longer about just your individual choice. So we have to do something about this. We have to encourage other people to do better. We have to. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.